Hello and welcome to another Vendavo webcast. Today I'm very excited to be part of the team that's introducing Vendavo Margin Bridge Analyzer, how to make complex price, volume, mix variance analysis very simple. I'm happy to be joined by three key Vendavo colleagues. First off, Matthias Mueller, the product manager for Margin Bridge Analyzer, who will give us a demonstration a little bit later. Next off is Adrienne Wanzo, Principal Value Consultant here at Vendavo, and she's going to relate how these capabilities are already delivering results for our customers. And finally, Alex Hoff, Certified Pricing Professional and Vice President of Product Management and Product Marketing here at Vendavo. He'll help set the background up for us and tell us why answering this perennial question is key in today's environment. And finally, my name is Mitch Lee. I'm the profit evangelist here at Vendavo. You've probably seen me in your email inbox as the Profit Prophet, but today I'm happy to be your humble host. So let's take a look at the agenda. Alex is going to walk us through that perennial question and how now it can be simply answered. Matthias is going to walk us through a demonstration of Margin Bridge Analyzer and show us some of the capabilities. And Adrienne Wanzo is going to show us a bit of customer success, how these capabilities are already delivering for our customers. Now, we'll be taking questions along the way as best we can, and we have time reserved at the end to answer your questions. So use that question function to lodge those questions as we go along. If we can't get to everyone's questions by the time we close down, be assured that we will reach out to you to give you our answers in terms of the next steps to take. And with that, I'll now turn it over to Alex.
Thanks, Mitch. In a recent piece by Forbes, senior contributor Louis Columbus said that data is the best way to combat fear, panic, and uncertainty. With the right data, we can help our organizations navigate a very dynamic marketplace by providing the insights, guidance, and guardrails that Louis mentions here. So while we couldn't have predicted the current situation, we are somewhat lucky that we planned on launching this solution at this time, because the Vendavo Margin Bridge Analyzer can give your organization some extremely critical insights it needs, and the process to set it up is very simple. Even in a relatively stable market situation, companies are always asking some of the same questions in quarterly reports, business reviews, territory calls, etc. One of them is, okay, so margins were down from 500,000 to 400,000, but why? What was the reason or drivers of the change? Did we drop our prices? Were volumes down? Did our product mix change? Or did we lose a big customer? The unfortunately common answer for the unprepared would be, well, it was really a mix of reasons, some positive, some negative. And that would be true, but also a pretty unhelpful answer. To answer this perennial question that's fundamental to almost every business, what you really need is what some call a revenue or margin bridge, walk, or variance analysis. This kind of analysis does a bottoms-up breakdown of all transactions in one time period compared to another, and then puts the differences into effects like price effects, volume effect, mix effect, and cost effect. And while this concept is not necessarily novel, you can find this in textbooks in marketing and managerial accounting, for example. Doing these calculations for large organizations usually takes on additional complexities like needing to measure different effects for price increases versus price decreases, or needing to break out the mix effect into multiple mix effects, sometimes with a specific sequence or hierarchy. Add to that with most decently sized organizations, you'll be dealing with tens or hundreds of millions of transactions, thousands of products, and thousands of customers. It's a mammoth exercise. I know because I've seen clients who have been doing this manually or hiring expensive consultants to keep doing it for them, and it's a nightmare. A good revenue or margin bridge can answer a whole set of really critical questions like how much margin change was driven by changes in price, volume, or mix? And how does that analysis vary by region, by channel, etc.? How did actuals compare to the plan or forecast in terms of price, volume, and mix? How effective was our new pricing strategy or tactics? And how much value or benefits is our pricing or commercial initiative driving? Those last two are, as a pricing person at heart, really cool. Think about being able to accurately quantify the effect your pricing actions, team, or initiative have had. As Adrienne and Matthias will explain further, we've been using this new solution in this beta form in engagements with a couple dozen customers and we've been able to measure and document customer-validated value realization. So what are your options if you need to do this kind of analysis? Traditionally, you've got three main options. Massive Excel spreadsheets maintained by superhuman analysts or teams of analysts in some cases. But this doesn't scale to big data. You have a major data security risk here. There's lots of opportunity for user error. And then you have the whole, what if so-and-so wins the lottery tomorrow and disappears on us? Second, you could use general purpose BI solutions like a Power BI or Tableau, etc. And a basic price volume mix analysis can be done if you're pretty clever and want to dig into that in greater detail. But to do this right at an enterprise level, you really need complex algorithms, not just charts and reports. It typically requires ninja level expertise to pull this off, so you're dependent upon that skill set. And even if you can do it, you've got a pretty rigid model, works one way instead of something that's more flexible. Lastly, you could hire consultants, either management consultants, strategy consultants, niche pricing consultants, etc. They can be effective, but they're going to be pretty expensive, especially when you consider that you're going to need to keep paying them to keep doing it in the future. And because it's mostly human-driven work, it really doesn't scale that well. And finally, the real knowledge and expertise is outside your firm, so you're still dependent on others. Not really a great set of options, and that's why we're so excited to debut our new solution for price, volume, and mix analysis, the Vendavo Margin Bridge Analyzer, part of our Commercial Intelligence Cloud suite. And while the production SaaS solution for this was launched on April 28th, we've actually been using this solution in beta for several months now and using it to measure the benefits of value generated from our customers' initiatives. In one case here, we used a margin bridge for a major wholesale distributor to measure the impact on margin from their Vendavo pricing guidance project, where they utilized segmentation and optimized pricing guidance to set smarter prices. For the scope of the business affected in 2019, they saw a positive impact on margin equal to 5.3% of sales. And that measurement of value achieved, not just forecasted or estimated, was made possible with this margin bridge analysis. So hopefully you can see how this can be used to help measure the impact of certain initiatives, justifying their continuation, and the rolling out of best practices across the organization. So let's take a quick look at the new Vendavo Margin Bridge Analyzer in more detail. The Vendavo Margin Bridge Analyzer is a powerful SaaS solution that accurately measures and monitors the business impact of complex changes in revenue and margin drivers like prices, volumes, and mix effects. What really makes this new SaaS solution unique is how easy it is for a user to create and manage their own price volume mix analysis scenarios. This solution supports a wide range of price volume mix models, including very complex and unique ones. Here's how the Vendavo Margin Bridge Analyzer solution works. You start by uploading your transaction history, usually from your ERP or a data warehouse your organization already has. Once in the Vendavo Commercial Excellence Cloud, Vendavo will apply the desired aggregations and data transformations needed to create a data set for analysis. This process of uploading, validating, and transforming your data can be done at your selected frequency, usually weekly or monthly. Then, once your users receive some onboarding from our experts for the first time, they're ready to go. Power users can not only run analyses, they can create and manage the analysis templates that are used by standard users when they run their analyses. With some of our customers, power users manage multiple templates due to the varying needs of different divisions or sales regions. The great thing about the Margin Bridge Analyzer is that users can create as many templates or models as they see fit, all without the need for technical help or IT support. Let's take a look at the SaaS solution in action. Matthias will now run through a quick demo of the solution.
Now, in the beginning, Alex gave a brief introduction of the price volume mix or margin walk or margin bridge concept, and I'd like to demonstrate to you now some of the key capabilities which are critical for providing both an at-a-glance overview of the business and the change of margins and revenues, and relevant level of granularity needed to make a price volume analysis truly actionable. Now let's have a look at my analysis looking into North America's region, comparing second half 2019 versus first half 2019, and do a quick analysis to what extent our volume growth initiative that we implemented paid off. Overall, there is a nice margin increase of around 1.8% or $326,000 that you can see over here. When looking at the different change effect and their contribution to the change in margin, you can see that our strategy to reduce our prices on top of passing through the cost decline did generate a positive volume effect and helped to capture additional margins from new business. When looking into the different market segments and the interaction of price, cost, and volume effect, it looks like we have a problem in the industrial market where cost increased versus we see a decline in all other segments. Drilling further down into this segment and looking into underlying customer groups still does not give us additional insights. What's causing the cost increase that we see at Alcoa in the industrial segment in North America in second half versus first half of 2019? Was it due to changes in the variable cost or in the fixed manufacturing costs or the cost to serve, or what did cause the cost increase? This current price volume model does not provide us the insights that are needed to answer the questions and to define appropriate actions to fix this cost issue in this example, right? So what's needed here is a more granular breakdown of the cost effect. Let's quickly refine the model to gain better insights and visibility into the root cause. As a key user, you have access to this template creation section, and you can create and refine your margin bridge models to suit your specific business needs. In this model definition section, you can select the relevant effects. Now, let's activate the cost separation and add the main cost contributors of interest, such as total rebates and cost to serve effects, to increase the level of granularity in my analysis. Let's go back and have a quick look into the analysis and update the analysis that I used in the beginning to review the separated costs in industrial segment for Alcoa and Bechtel. We now see that the margin bridge model is updated and the cost effects have been added to the margin bridge model in the chart and also in the data table below that chart. With this added granularity, you can clearly see that we had to pay out slightly higher rebates given the additional volumes that Alcoa purchased in the second half of 2019. But what you can also see is that there was an increase in cost to serve, which was not passed on to Alcoa customer group. With that and the additional insights, I now can go back, refine my cost to serve recovery policies to ensure that we stop unwanted margin leakage in that customer group in the industrial segment. Now, what you've seen is that empowering the key users to configure the model through clicks, not code, and the added flexibility to support multiple business and role-specific margin bridge models for specific needs is a key enabler for making a price volume mix analysis truly actionable. That's what I want to share with you in this short demo.
Thanks, Matthias. Those are some great capabilities you've incorporated into Margin Bridge Analyzer. I'm going to turn now to Adrienne. Adrienne, in your value consulting work, you've actually used these capabilities in working with our customers. Could you give us an example from work you did just a few months ago?
Sure, Mitch. One of our clients engaged us to help them understand how much benefit they realized from a price increase action in mid-2019. They had established price increase targets of 5% and 9%, with differences based on sales region and customer tier. Sales was given the flexibility to adjust the increase based on customer dynamics, so while the business set targets of 5% and 9%, equating to $26 million additional margin or 5.7% lift on average, they recognized the actual increase would be short of that. They wanted to understand how much they had achieved for each of these region and customer tier combinations and had not been able to answer the question with appropriate granularity. We used the price volume mix analysis capabilities available in Vendavo's Margin Bridge Analyzer to isolate the changes in price, versus volume and mix changes after the price increase. This answered the question of how much of the target price increase had been realized for each region and customer tier. While some tiers saw partial gains, areas fell far short of their targets and in some instances saw price drops. Looking at the North America region, we can see that platinum customers, these are top revenue generators, actually saw a margin decrease of 5.3%. For this customer tier, we may not expect to realize the full price increase, but platinum customer pricing decreased significantly, especially considering the target was to increase margin by 5.7%. At the other end of the scale, pricing impact for reseller customers also was below target, with the impact from added volume and added business outstripping non-repeat business, improving period-to-period margin performance. With these insights, we were able to develop recommendations for their next price increase action, most notably to tighten price increase concession processes with more stringent oversight to ensure more of the opportunity is realized from future price increases. With Margin Bridge Analyzer, they will have these insights for action at their fingertips.
Thanks, Adrienne. That's a really great example of how MBA capabilities are already delivering results to our customers. And so now here are the 4 key differentiations for Vendavo's Margin Bridge Analyzer. It's sophisticated. It supports enterprise-level PVM models and enables a more granular and yet repeatable and reliable breakdown of the different change effects. Side-by-side comparison of the change effects across different business areas can drive powerful insights for corrective actions. Leading practice out-of-the-box KPIs with fully flexible model and data aggregation enables you to quantify and document the benefits of your pricing work. It's simple. No programming skills are needed. It's up and running within days, not months, and you can easily build your own model that's robust and ready for full deployment. It's scalable. There's no cumbersome and error-prone offline number crunching and complex calculation sheets. You can support specific and varying needs of different stakeholders or different business units. And you can pre-build analysis charts and tables that fit your organization's practices, making it easy for everyone to consume the analysis outputs. It's secure. Vendavo Cloud Services leverage leading cloud providers to host customer infrastructure, and it incorporates technologies and security best practices to ensure confidentiality, integrity, and availability. This is how you fix what isn't working and how you do more of what is helping your bottom line. So with that, we'll turn to our Q&A section. All right, we have a lot of really good questions coming in. As I look them over, I'm going to point this first one at Matthias. Matthias, let me paraphrase this a little bit. I'll read it to you. We have lots of variations of causality in my organization. Does MBA support multiple models or various types of aggregation?
Yes, MBA supports having multiple models in place in parallel. So the key user who has access to this template creation area that I showed to you, he would set up different templates per each of the business units, where he defines the different level of aggregations, the drilling dimensions, and even can set business unit specific filters to then make these different templates available for the users in the analysis area. So the user can then pick up the template specific to their business unit specific needs and set different time periods for this margin bridge analyzer in data comparison.
Okay, here's a question for Alex. Alex, this I think is coming in from someone that has EPS, and their question is, what version of Vendavo is this in?
Well, that's an interesting question. It's not really in a prior or current version of another Vendavo application. It's actually a new separate cloud application, so it's not really reliant on any certain version of a Vendavo product. So if you're using Profit Analyzer in our EPS suite, or if you're a price point customer, or even if you don't have any of those solutions actually, you can leverage and utilize this new application. We do, of course, have some adapters for existing Vendavo customers so that you can bring data over into Margin Bridge Analyzer from solutions like Profit Analyzer or Pricepoint, but it's not dependent upon another version or another application from Vendavo.
All right, we have a question here that I think probably is best addressed by Adrienne. Question says, so you mentioned value consulting and the use of NBA. Could you expand? Adrienne, you want to take a shot at that?
Sure, I'll tell you a little bit more about value consulting. Our team is focused on ensuring the success of our clients. The way we do that is by partnering with them during the project and after go live. And it's really around addressing the people, process, and technology so they can achieve their desired outcomes. Our team supports customers in a variety of different ways with change management, commercial excellence transformation initiatives, and ensuring our clients are maximizing their bottom line benefits. So with price volume mix analysis offered with Margin Bridge Analyzer, this is a key component of what we do to help our clients accelerate value gains.
All right, another question for Matthias here. Would users be able to exclude a transaction from the analysis data set if there's an anomaly?
Yes, and as I'm thinking through this, we actually got this request from one of our beta customers. In a scenario where transaction data is loaded into Intelligence Cloud for MBA, which also has the transaction ID attribute in it, the user would be able to filter out specific transactions when setting up a new template. So the template will then be picked up from the analysis, and the analysis calculation and results will then not include these transactions at all. So yeah, that's a use case which is supported.
This next question goes to Alex, and I'll read this to you, Alex. You mentioned this is a new product, but called out benefits already being gained by customers. How does that work?
Yeah, so that's actually a really good question, Mitch. We actually developed this solution in conjunction with some of our existing customers as part of our Lighthouse customer program. So some customers participated in it as alpha customers, some as kind of beta customers. And in addition to that, our value consulting team has been using this solution internally as we do value assessments on roughly about 30 customers in the last several months. So that's kind of how we've been able to leverage the solution in kind of with real life situations with our customers and where the benefits have been measured.
All right, here's another question that has come in. This is also pretty related to the one we had before for Adrienne. So Adrienne, I'm going to ask this of you. Can you talk more about how MBA can be used to measure improvements in pricing projects? Adrienne?
Absolutely. So when we think about price volume mix analysis like that offered with Margin Bridge Analyzer, it allows us to measure how much price and margin benefit our clients have achieved after implementation. And so I've used this in several projects, and in particular with price optimization projects, we're able to use the price volume mix framework to isolate price gains from gains that are attributable to volume, mix, or favorable changes in cost. But it also gives us the flexibility to measure gains and performance for business that use guidance versus business that did not use guidance. So for example, a lot of our customers implement price optimization, but they do have some portions of the business or some scenarios where they might override the guidance to a lower price. Being able to break out and filter to just look at the business that was subject to guidance versus not subject to guidance really gives the client insight into how well optimization is delivering. And time again, we find that price performance on business using guidance significantly outpaces business that's not using the guidance. This regular reporting of benefits and performance gives our clients visibility to how the business is performing and identifies underperforming areas so they can target those areas for improvement.
Adrienne, that's fantastic. I got to believe that that type of capability in terms of being able to look at with and without guidance, really meaningful for a pricing team or a business team understanding what the importance of pricing is. Fantastic. So that concludes today's session. Thank you for the final thoughts, the answers to those thoughtful questions that were presented. Adrienne Wanzo, Principal Value Consultant, thanks for bringing that information in terms of applications of these capabilities in the real world. Matthias Mueller, thank you for bringing forward these capabilities in Vendavo Margin Bridge Analyzer. Really exciting to have those capabilities in today's time with everything that's going on right now. Alex, thanks for your insight in terms of what's happening in the market and what are the market needs, how commercial excellence is always something to be striving for, but particularly important now with the challenges we have as we look ahead towards transformation. My name is Mitch Lee. I'm the Profit Evangelist here at Vendavo. Pleased to be your host. And until we speak again, have a profitable day.